Today I'm going to talk about a serious issue for me. The issue is that the fact white Democrats have pegged me and other Republicans as just racist. They stereotype all Republicans as racist. It hurts. Just because I choose not to be liberal, it has nothing to do with race. I'm a racist because of that. Then they make up all these bullshit lies. That because they talk about voter ID law. Let's talk about voter ID. Tell me how that's racist. It has nothing to do with racism. It does have to do with voter fraud. What happens is this. We had people that were legal, undocumented immigrants voting in all elections. They have no right to vote in all elections. We also had people, widows, that had voted for their dead husbands. Now people try to bring up, well, you know what? That's small. It's small because we don't know the full extent of voter fraud, because we only find out voter fraud when an election is challenged. Many cities and states don't have the millions of dollars to challenge every single election. So yes, you get that small amount. And I read it in the Washington Post article. They said if you wanted to determine the possible percentage of voter fraud, you can take that small percentage, then try to go through all the elections, and you will get it is a big deal. You will see it is a big deal. So the voter ID law had nothing to do with race. Not one thing. And I'm tired of hearing that, because then they push it on the Republicans and say Republicans are racist because of this. If you're talking about cost, the costs are going to affect whites more. There are more poor whites than poor blacks than poor Hispanics in the United States. So stop pushing that voter ID law is racist agenda just to get votes. Because you're bringing people down. You're bringing this community down. You are being part of the problem. Okay, you say, well, they're closing polling stations in black neighborhoods. They're closing polling stations in white neighborhoods too. I know. I lived in a predominantly white neighborhood. They closed the polling station in my predominantly white neighborhood. I had to go out of the way just to vote. It had nothing to do with closing the polling station. Had nothing to do with race. Many times it's because they want to cut costs. Because it's expensive to run an election. You got staff members, you have the machines, you have all this and all that. That was the reason why. And early voting, reducing the time of early voting, let me tell you something, that affects white people too. And by average, since there are more poor whites and more whites, it affects white people more. not black people, not Hispanic people. I should say Hispanic Americans. But no, you want to say that's racist, just so you can win an election. And that's what Hillary Clinton did too. She used that, saying that Republicans are racist because of voter ID law. How the hell does she get off pushing that agenda when she is a candidate? She needs to look at the solutions to the problems. There are several problems the United States has. We need a president that's not going to focus on racial agenda. Instead, focus on solution to the problems. And that's how 50 years after the Civil Rights Act, Democrats have kept the black vote. They kept the black vote by using race-baiting tactics. Say all Republicans are racist. Then the blacks will never vote for a Republican. I have this problem, I have this solution. That's not how. Let's talk about 50 years after we still have unarmed black males being beat and shot by police officers, white police officers. Just like in Selma when they did it in Selma. What has the Democratic government, Democrats been controlling this government except for several times when blacks stayed home? I mean, that's the only time we have Republicans, when blacks stayed home, and that's the stupidest reason to have a Republican government is when blacks stayed home. Everyone should vote. But anyway, let's go. Democrats have been in power. Even when Bill Clinton was in charge, we had a surplus. He passed this Crime Act. The Crime Act that people don't want to talk about actually made aggressive police procedures on nonviolent crime. Aggressive police procedures on nonviolent crime. Some of the stuff that we have now. It also increased racial profiling to a new high. And it focused on, a lot of time it focused on nonviolent crime, and so we got more blacks and Hispanics up in prison. Able to focus. Whites have been told many times they could get diversions or they get lesser sentences. So how did that Bill Clinton Crime Act take? Yes, he had a surplus. But how did it really affect blacks? Even President Obama. How did he help blacks? A jobs report comes out and says a lot of jobs came. But when they focused on African Americans, they found out the so-called job creation did not help African Americans that much. It helped whites. Seems to me, no matter what kind of party we get in, we've been getting the same thing. Help the whites. It's sad. It's just help the whites. That's what it's been. Even the surplus that Clinton had helped the whites. It didn't help that he did NAFTA, which made jobs go overseas, a lot of manufacturing jobs, and at that time there were a lot of African Americans and Hispanics doing manufacturing jobs. Hispanic Americans, I should say. Those jobs were gone. Whites will suffer too because of NAFTA. Those jobs were gone. Baltimore, Ferguson, that Crime Act. It's one of the biggest things that caused that. Yes, President Bush could have overturned it like that. He had a Republican Congress, they would have done what he wanted. He didn't act on it. He kept it. So Democrats and both Republicans wanted this Crime Act. And they still want it. But not all Republicans are the same. Here's the deal. It takes a little convincing to make change. And one candidate that I support is Rand Paul. Rand Paul has been criticized, has been lied about, has been misinterpreted by media owned by Democrats. MSNBC, Daily Beast, Daily Journal, Politics USA, Daily KOS, Buttle Jones, because they have intentions to elect a Democrat. Rand Paul has put forward plans to fix situations. First of all, he does not believe in free trade. Just like the unions and liberals don't believe in free trade, like NAFTA and TPP. Rand Paul doesn't. His libertarian roots is to keep jobs in the United States, not send them overseas. So he voted against TPP, along with liberals. He wanted to keep the jobs in the United States. But his vote and the liberal Democrats did not outnumber the corporate Democrats and the corporate Republicans. That's a sad story stays. Money talks. Liberals, not liberals, but corporate Democrats and corporate Republicans. George Soros and Bill Koch, Charles Koch, worked together to get this TPP passed. And now jobs are going to go by. Sad. Now I'll tell you something about Rand Paul. People called him racist. Said he was racist because he had a worker who was supposedly used to have a past of a racist radio show. Here's the deal. That same person was also helping blacks to get civil liberties when he got older. So if President Obama can evolve, so can a Republican. If Hillary Clinton can evolve, so can a Republican. Some people change. And that's what happened. But Rand Paul, because of pressure, did get rid of that staff member. Too much pressure, he had to do what he had to do. Even though that staff member was no longer a racist. He had a racist past. Second thing they said is Cliven Bundy. Cliven Bundy attended a forum where Rand Paul was speaking. His son was recorded on video asking about land rights, federal public land of Nevada. Well, Nevada, most public land, majority of public lands in Nevada is owned by the federal government. Rand Paul said, he said that state rights, he believes states should have more power over public land. Okay? That's basically what he said. That's he told Cliven Bundy's son. After the meeting, people were leaving. Cliven Bundy then approached Rand Paul himself. Asked the same question. Rand Paul said the same thing. He believes states should have more control over public lands. Cliven Bundy lied and said that it was a 45-minute private meeting, but it wasn't. From the video of the son and also the pictures afterwards, after the forum, you can see it wasn't a private meeting. It was just Bundy approaching Paul and Paul answering the question. Bundy has said some racial comments. Paul in the past has told Bundy that he can't support him because of his racial comments. But as a constituent, he has to answer questions. And people don't get that. Now they tried to paint Paul as a racist because he said something about the Civil Rights Act. He said he had reservations on federal control over private companies. Now here's the deal. He also said that even though he had his reservations, he still would have voted for the Civil Rights Act. A lot of the media, because it's controlled by Democrats, I should say the ones that black people go to, edit that out. But I seen it in CNN and the Washington Post. But nobody ever chose to look at that. They wanted to see what they wanted to see. Rand Paul has gone to black universities to pitch what he's been trying to do for years before he even tried to run for president. Criminal justice reform, police reform, marijuana decriminalization, and also voting for nonviolent felons. He has co-sponsored bills with Democrats in those areas. I'm not saying they all passed, because the Democrats and the Republicans are blocking it, even though, there's a need to fix all the situations. They're so focused on free trade, but not those issues. Let's get focused on free trade. But, see, he's been pushed down. He's been trying to get up and fight. But even then, when you have the white Democrats pushing racial agenda and saying all Republicans are racist, you're going to lose. Because that's the only way white Democrats have controlled the black vote. Not because they came up with solutions. I mean, let's look at this. The most impoverished cities for all races, including African Americans, is Democrat cities. Look to top 10. Detroit, Oakland. Those happen to also be the same in New Orleans. Happen to be also the top 10 that an African American becomes a victim of violence. Top 10 is Democrat cities. And a lot of these cities have strict gun restrictions. And people talk gun control. Well, these cities have the toughest gun control you can even think of. But there's been more victims in these cities. So, is gun control working? I don't think so. But anyway, they even, white Democrats have even said gun rights is racist. God, I heard that before and I was like, there are many blacks that believe in gun rights. So, if they could peg anything as racist to keep that black vote, they would do it. White Democrats. Yeah. Anything they could peg as racist. And now they mentioned groups that are supporting the Republican Party that are racist, like that so-called conservative group. Washington Post said that they also support some Democrats. That so-called conservative group supports some Democrats that are in office today. So, and plus, there's this Communist Party. This one Communist Party. If you go to the website, I don't know what it is, but they were in Ferguson when the riots were happening. They were protesting. So I looked up their information. And I found out they're a white nationalist group. This Communist Party. They support white supremacy. This communist group also supports Democrats. They're big Democrat supporters. Because they're on the left. Communism is on the left, so they're going to support people that are on the left. So they're white nationalist group. So, and people don't talk about the white nationalist groups that support the Democrat Party. They only discuss, because the media don't want to tell that story. I should say the media controlled by Democrats, which is mostly what black people go on to. So, black and Hispanics, I should say, go on to. Minorities go on to. They don't go on to the conservative meeting because they think all Republicans are racist. Now, Fox News is no good. I don't listen to Fox News. I'll be honest. Fox News is racist. I don't even go to... I get my information from CNN, which tries to stay neutral. You know? Because I got an app. Bing, bing. The app tells me when the... You know... When the breaking news. Now, somebody made a comment. They were messed up on... Made a mistake on 9/11 about the plane. Like the tower. But... You know what? At least they try to stay a little bit neutral, CNN does. Instead of trying to be more left or more right. Like Fox News is for the right and MSNBC is for the left. I mean, yeah, they make mistakes, but MSNBC makes a lot of mistakes. Fox News makes a lot of mistakes. So, I don't even go there, but... I do recommend, if you want more neutral sites, you go to On the Issues or Project Vote Smart. Project Vote Smart, people's votes on the different categories. It goes in categories, different issues. They also have a survey, which is good. This is awesome little tool. Because the survey is given to the politicians on the different issues. And they take this survey... telling you what they believe in on the issues. Oh, this awesome little tool. I got a lot of information off of that. And then on the issues, quotes. Quotes from the politicians, and then they categorize it. But I'm telling you, that Project Vote Smart is going to be a big help if you're trying to vote for someone. Because, like I said, there was that survey that the actual politicians take. I mean, it's awesome little tool. Ding, ding, ding. So, I just want to tell you that one. But, I'm sad. I'm sad. I'm afraid now. I'm afraid that I'm going to be pinged as a racist. Just because I'm a Republican. And it's happened. When somebody says all Republicans are racist, you're saying that every single Republican is racist. Even if you say all Republican candidates are racist, you're still pinging every single one of those candidates. I think it's like 15 now in the Republican Party, but you're all saying that they're all racist. When you know nothing about them just because their political affiliation is Republican. Well, you know about them when you listen to them. That's my thing. Just listen to them. See what they have to say on the issues. Do some research on neutral sites like Project Rosemont and on the issues. Don't go to MSNBC or Daily Journal, Daily KOS, or Politics USA, or Muddle Jones to find out information about a Republican. Because there's a lot of times they will lie or misinterpret a Republican's actions or words just to make sure that a person votes a Democrat. Because those are run by Democrats. Now, sometimes you might go to a conservative site to find out about a candidate. Because think about this. If I want to research a Democrat, do I go to Fox News to find out information about the Democrat? No. Fox News is going to say everything bad about that Democrat just to make sure I vote for that Republican. So, same thing. If I want to find out about a Republican, do I go to MSNBC to find out about the Republican? No, because MSNBC is going to say everything bad about that Republican candidate just to make sure you vote for a Democrat. It's that simple. Because you have the left side and the right side. You have the left media and then you have the right media. Each has their own base and purpose. And I just told my friends that were black, and this is a sad part, that I knew in person online, I just don't want to talk to them anymore. I don't. Because if I mention my political affiliation, they're going to automatically think I'm a racist. No matter how much I've done and did, I'll tell you this. I was Peace and Social Justice president at Wichita State University. I was in the Peace and Social Justice group at West High. I was in the Peace and Social Justice. And you know what I did? I tried to bring diversity. It had nothing to do with politics, though. I mean, we didn't bring up politics, because politics wasn't the problem. But we brought people together regardless of politics, regardless of race, regardless of religion. But that don't mean anything. Because once I say I'm a Republican, it's back to, well, you're a racist. It doesn't matter that I believe in civil rights and civil liberties for every religion and race. And it doesn't matter that I stood up for people of different races and people of different religions when people tried to bash them. I didn't care what party they were in, because I was hearing that from Democrats and Republicans. Bashing blacks, bashing Muslims. I didn't care what party it was. I stood up and said, stop bashing them. Stop stereotyping. Stop doing this. It's not right that the white Christians are free and clear of violence. That is a lie if you think white Christians are free and clear of violence. And that's what I talk about with Rand Paul. That's what Rand Paul says. Rand Paul talks about racism. He uses Martin Luther King's Two Americas. Talks about how it works in the criminal justice system. Black person gets more of a sentence than a white person. That's fact. Because a black person goes to the court and they already peg him as guilty. They already peg him as a thug. And they already peg him as someone they need to keep in prison. Well, that white person are more or less gonna, just give him a lesser sentence. And options for diversion. I like that little tactic they give. You can have diversion, but no, you can't. Like in drug crimes, I see that. Devotion for the white person. White person, we gotta keep in jail. And police themselves have racial profile for many years. Oh, he's a black man. He must be dangerous. I better get my gun. White man. Oh, I'm gonna get my taser. That's the first item I'm going for is my taser on the white man. But no, I'm a racist because I'm a Republican according to white Democrats who push that racial agenda just to win an election. And here's the problem. You keep a division in this society. Hate blooms and keeps going. They're all racist in both parties. And racism's never going to be defeated if you keep pushing racial agenda. Especially when you say it's all Republicans and never claim about any Democrats being racist. You see this election as more important. White Democrats see this election more important than fixing the problems. They haven't had to fix the problems at all. All they have to do is keep the vote. By saying all Republicans are racist. And I worked for social peace and social justice, like I said. If you keep that division, nothing changes. I wish white Democrats would stop. And I seen blacks believing it. Blacks believing that what the white Democrats saying, well, yeah, you're right, you're telling the truth. Only Republicans are racist, only white Republicans are racist. But they don't know everything because the media keeps a lot of it out. They don't tell the whole truth. You gotta go to neutral sites like I did. I went to CNN too. Well, I got bashed for CNN. I'm like, God, come on. CNN, you're gonna bash CNN? And then I told them CNN is better than MSNBC, so. But they didn't. Anyway. So now I don't even want to talk with black people. Because I might accidentally tell them, hey, I'm a Republican. Because I don't hide my political affiliation. And then they'll sit deep down and think I'm a racist. Thank you. Sad. Never knew how bad it was. Until now. Bye.